be a Mountaineer wherever you may be. Thanks so much for being with us, for those of you that are here in person, and for those listening in on Mountaineer Sports Network and the various social media platforms. We are here today. It is an historic day in the history of West Virginia University as we formally introduce our 35th head football coach. Neal Brown will take over a Mountaineer program that currently is 14th all-time in the nation in college football victories, and obviously he will have a state behind him here at the state's land-grant institution. Coming up this morning, we'll hear from the two men responsible for bringing Neal here to Morgantown. And as you probably all know, this is an active recruiting period in college football. And early on, it appears that both Shane and President Gee have landed the most blue chip of coaches in the nation. And we are delighted to have him with us here today. Would you please welcome WVU President E. Gordon Gee.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're honored to have everyone here. This is a very special day, and it's a very special moment. And I just say this to the wonderful Brown family: we are an institution of family. West Virginia is a place of families. West Virginia is a place that believes in its institution, in its university. In fact, we in many ways represent the hopes and dreams of every West Virginian. And our football program, our basketball programs, our athletic program in general really do carry the flag of West Virginia and have done so successfully for a long period of time. And so today is a very special day because of the fact that we have a new flag carrier. A very special one. I can tell you that when we had an opportunity to speak with Brooke and with the coach, very infrequently do you know what is right. Very infrequently do you know how this is going to work. We saw it. We believed in it. He believed in us. Brooke believed in us. We had a most wonderful conversation, and for that we are grateful. West Virginia University is a place of purpose. I tell everyone, if you don't believe in purpose, if you don't believe that we have a special calling, if you don't believe in the ministry of West Virginia and its university, then please don't come here. This is a place of purpose, and we're also a place of inspiration. And today, that is what we're celebrating. We're celebrating family. We're selling 1.8 million West Virginians. We're celebrating West Virginians around the world who take great pride in this state. And we're celebrating the newest member of our family. So, Coach, welcome to you and welcome to your family. I'm not very good at babysitting, I want you to know that. I'm a grandfather. I go over and visit, and then I Uber back to the hotel, so that's good. But we are honored to have you here, and we're honored to have all of your family here. So thank you very much for making this decision. This is a special day for West Virginia.
Please now welcome WVU Athletic Director Shane Lyons.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you for everyone for being here today. As Dr. Gee said, it's an exciting day to be able to introduce a new football coach in West Virginia's Mountaineer football history. It's also exciting to begin a new chapter in West Virginia football history. As we said, as we started this process, we were obviously looking for a coach who could come in here and fit us as an institution. I do want to recognize Brooke, Adlin, Ansley, and Dax to the family. As Dr. Gee said, this was a family affair as we started this, and definitely they bring every quality in the family we could think of. I want to thank Dr. Gee for the process. We moved very swiftly on this, his support in making this happen in a quick manner. We worked hand in hand to make this happen as swiftly as we could. I also want to thank Bill Wilmoth and David Alvarez, the chair and vice chair of the board of directors, for their support. Also from Dr. Gee's team, a number of people that we had conversations with in the process for their support along the way as well. From athletics, my right hand, Kelly Zinn, could not do this without her and her work behind the scenes of the day-to-day grunt work in the trenches, finding out about coaches, the information, along with Steve Urias, who's not here today, working with us in the interview process, and a number of other senior staff members who made this happen. So it was truly a team effort, and I thank them for their hard work and efforts in this process. As I entered this search, I was looking for a sitting head coach with experience. Obviously, Neal had that with 4 years of experience at Troy. I was looking for the fit and culture for our university, somebody that embraced our values and missions, not only from the athletic department, but for the university as a whole. Somebody who had an emphasis on the student-athlete experience. You'll hear Coach talk about the student-athlete experience and the total student-athlete experience. It's not all about the playing field, it's off the playing field as well. And to make sure these guys are having fun, but they're growing socially as well as academically. I was looking for a coach with a proven record of competitive success. Coach had a 35-16 record in a 4-year period at Troy. He was 31-8 in the last 3 years, tied with Central Florida for the best record in the nation among the group of 5. He had a conference championship and 3 bowl wins. So obviously, the competitive success box was checked. I wanted a coach who had emphasis on academics and NCAA compliance. I needed a quality person with a strong work ethic. And every box that I talked about was being checked by Neal Brown. As we entered the interview process and had a chance to sit down with him in person, it was very clear and evident that he was going to be the next West Virginia football coach. We talked, and the interview lasted about 7 hours. We talked about a number of things through those 7 hours. The brand of football that he plays. He likes to throw the ball, has a strong focus on the running game. His teams have been known for their defense as much as their offense. His team plays with a chip on their shoulder with a blue-collar mentality, which fits us perfectly. So we talked about a lot of those things. We talked about, his passion for the student-athlete, his passion for the game. We also had a chance for Brooke to join us in the last couple hours of the interview. Coach, she was the closer. I'd say that. But it was evident that they wanted to be here at West Virginia, wanted to be our football coach, wanted to be the first family of football. So it was evident that we were definitely on the right track. As I talked about the process, and the process began a long time before the last week or so. We had systems in place to review coaches. I had my list and always kept it up to date of coaches, what we watched and listened from afar, and we were prepared. We had done our homework. And now that allowed us to work quickly and effectively and efficiently in naming our next head football coach. After we had a chance to come back to Morgantown and sit down and debrief the next morning real quickly, it was really came evident. And I told our staff that the great state of West Virginia, our alumni and fans, our department and university is going to love this guy. The last week, or almost a week since Saturday when we made the official announcement, I can tell you that Mountaineer Nation is once again energized. Now, Neal, Coach, we were glad to have you. If you and President Gee would come up front. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and privilege to introduce to you West Virginia University's 35th head football coach, Neal Brown.
Thank you for the introduction, and thank you to everyone for being here. And good morning. Appreciate the media being present, Key University, individuals, boosters, appreciate y'all taking time and being here. What an honor and what a privilege it is to stand before you today as the head football coach at West Virginia University. You hear it a lot at these press conferences, but it's important to me to tell you why it's such a privilege. We've had a lot of success over the last few years at Troy. That's why I'm here. And when you have success, it creates opportunities in other schools when we talk about jobs. And when you get those opportunities, you get an opportunity to find out about that school's culture, about their administration's vision, and the fan base's passion for the program. Culture, vision, passion. Those are the three things that have always been very important to me and Brooke, who I'm going to introduce here in just a second. Those are three criteria that have factored into each move we made and every opportunity we've evaluated over the years. When I think about culture, when I think about vision, when I think about passion, I think about Coach Neal and the incredible legacy he left here. Over 2 decades of success. And I appreciate the time he spent welcoming me to town and to this university on Sunday afternoon. He provided great insight, and I appreciate that. I think about the 14th winningest program in all of college football. Wow. I think about 15 conference championships. I think about the flying WV and the hardworking, blue-collar people of West Virginia that WV represents. I think about country roads, and I think about one of the best environments of all of college football. West Virginia is culture. It is vision, and it is passion. That's a great fit. It fits my DNA. I'm grateful for Dr. Gee, Shane Lyons, Kelly Zinn, the Board of Governors for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to lead this great program. Their entire team was incredible throughout this process. They were everything you look for from both an athletics and a university perspective. The alignment from Dr. Gee to Shane and his team was evident. Dr. Gee, your vision for this incredible university is both crystal clear and it's invigorating. When you spend time with Dr. Gee, you come away with a deep appreciation for West Virginia and a sincere belief that nothing is impossible. Shane, it's clear you bleed gold and blue. From our first conversation, you were consistent in your message. West Virginia is a special place where we can accomplish great things. I look forward to working with both Dr. Gee and Shane to make the people of this great state proud of how we represent them on a daily basis. I want to recognize and introduce a few people that are very important to me, that proudly define me. My wife, Brooke, who I'll talk about here in a second. Our children, Adeline, Ansley, and Dax. Probably shouldn't look at Brooke, so I'll talk about it. But Brooke, probably more than anybody, understands what this moment means. Been by my side through the ups and the downs of this profession. Consummate coach's wife. And I wouldn't be standing here today without her. She's the head coach at home, but she also will have a prominent role in our program and be very visible in the Morgantown community. My sister Beth is here, recent law school graduate, proud of her. My parents, Tom, Peggy, and then my in-laws, Morris and Pat Stewart. All 4 teachers, educators, and at the heart, I think that's who we are as well. I also wouldn't be standing here today without the players, coaches, administration, and fans at Troy University. We experienced a lot of success at Troy, and because they gave their all every day. Dr. Jack Hawkins and Jeremy McLean, our athletic director, bought into our vision and were completely aligned with what we wanted to accomplish. The players sacrificed individual goals in the interest of the team, and I'll forever be grateful for the relationships and the memories that we all made in Troy. On Sunday night, I stood on this stage, honestly looking at a group that was probably bigger, faster, and stronger than the group I'm looking at now. They better be anyway, they better be. But what I told them is that West Virginia, we were going to be about three things. Number one, we were going to develop young men. I love football, I'm passionate. Athletics has given me every opportunity that I've ever had in my life. But I think it's a tool to develop young men. Number two, we're going to graduate student athletes and set them up for their future endeavors. And number three, we're going to win football games. We accomplish these goals by being a player-first program. We build a program around our student athletes. They all are why we are here, why we do what we do. This program will not be about me. From our coaching staff, to our academic support, through strength and conditioning, all support areas, anyone that touches this program, our job is to help our student athletes develop in all phases. To whom much is given, much is required. That holds true with Mountaineer football. We will provide our student athletes with every resource they need to be successful, both in the classroom and on the field. That said, our expectations for our student athletes is going to be extremely high. We will ensure that they carry themselves in a manner that makes us all proud. We will all be accountable to each other, this program, and this university. We will be disciplined on and off the field. This is not coach speak, this is a program mandate from day one. We'll have fun. I think it's important to have fun. I think it's a game. They talk about playing football. I want our players to look forward to coming into the Milan Pushkar Center. That doesn't mean we won't work hard, we will. But we're going to enjoy ourselves as we go through the process of getting better. There have been exciting former players that should be a visible part of our program. I want them to know that they're welcome here. Jeff Hostetler is doing wonderful work with the Children's Hospital. Mark Bulger, who reached out to me on Twitter. Tavon Austin, Major Harris, Pat Harris, Bruce Irvin, Daryl Talley, just to name a few. I want all former Mountaineer football players, y'all come see us. Please be a part of what is going to be the next chapter of Mountaineer football. Competition will be key. Our student athletes will be expected to compete every day in everything. I'm talking about grades, all season, practice effort, in-game performance, everything. I want our staff competing with that same energy and intensity as well. Competition breeds success. Those that possess great competitive character will strive here. We're going to recruit, but not only recruit, we're going to develop. Championship football programs are built through recruiting and development. A program is only as good as its players. I'm from this area. I've spent years recruiting this area. I know the type of players that are our footprint. They will know who we are and what we're about. Our coaching staff will be active. They will be visible. We have a tremendous, and I'll say that, tremendous product to sell here, and our staff will be expected to work extremely hard, to evaluate, to build relationships, and close on the best prospects that fit our program. Keeping the best players in the state at home is a top priority. From a player development perspective, we want to make sure we are developing the total player, mentally, physically, socially. We also focus on things like character development, leadership training. On the football side, offensively, y'all know my background. That's why I'm here. We're not changing that. We'll be a fast-paced, attacking offense. We're going to get playmakers in space, put points on the board. We're going to get it done offense by any means necessary to win the game. We're going to take shots down the field, create explosive plays. We're also going to be very physical up front. We're going to run the football. On defense, we'll be aggressive, playing fundamentally sound football with one goal, getting the ball back. We want our players reacting, not thinking. I'm pleased to announce that Vic Coney will be our defensive coordinator. Vic has a history of putting together some of the top attacking defenses in the country. a huge part of our success at Troy. He has experience in this league, and I could not be more excited to have him here. On special teams, we'll be opportunistic. I view them as offensive opportunities. We led the nation this season according to ESPN in special teams efficiency at Troy, and it's important. As far as getting started, putting together a staff will be a high priority. I'll focus over the next couple weeks on completing our staff. It's more important to get it right than get it done quickly. So have patience, media, please, have patience. In addition to Vic, we'll have a couple important hires we'll release in the next couple days as they get their contract signed. I can tell you this, our staff will consist of coaches who appreciate the opportunity that West Virginia offers, and they want to be here. They will be great teachers, great motivators, recruiters. They will care about the young men in our program. Over the last 4 days of getting started in this role, it's both been easy and enjoyable. I greatly appreciate, my family greatly appreciates the warm reception that we've received. Been able to spend a lot of time with our players, getting to know them relationally. I'm excited about them. Learning about our support staff areas, getting to know them. We have a lot of pieces in place here. I'm a basketball fan. I enjoyed spending time with Coach Huggins, the other coaches. He shared some key insights with me as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I could not be more excited to be your head football coach. We're going to work. We're going to compete. We're going to have fun. At the end of the day, we're going to make you proud. Hugh Country Road. Let's go Mountaineers. Thank you all.
At this point, now it goes into a press conference mode, and this is media questions only. So for our media members, it's your opportunity. For any of the folks, Coach Brown, then later on we'll have a breakout session off to the side. But for now, any media members, feel free to ask questions.
Neal, unique timing a little bit. One class already signed, 2/3 of it. Guys you didn't recruit. Just the timing of getting this job at this point.
Yeah, I don't know if the timing of these things are ever ideal. What I told our players in our initial team meeting is I chose them. I chose them. And to me, coaching, I'll get to the recruiting piece in a second, but it's about building relationships. They're all our players now. And it's about building relationships, understanding who they are, what they're about, understanding that relationships are built on love, care, and trust. And it's the same with the recruits that have signed. I had an opportunity to visit or to talk with each of them on the phone. I look forward to, as we build our staff, getting out and seeing them. I'll have one opportunity to go see them in person. I'll definitely do that. We'll have an opportunity to bring them back on campus for official visits. So over the next few weeks, we'll grow that relationship. I'm excited about the guys that signed. And again, we're going to add some pieces. We have some spots available, and we'll definitely continue to build our roster.
Coach, you had mentioned you were chasing your son around at a family function, and the West Virginia game was playing in the background. When did it then hit you? A couple days or whatever? That wow,
Well,
I might be the next coach there.
Well, as you know, social media doesn't always get it right. So this process didn't quite look like it played out on social media. Kelly's laughing. It did not play like it did on social media. So I think it was the 28th. We were at my aunt and uncle's house in Bardstown, Kentucky, and we're having a family Christmas. And we had two babies and a very active 3-year-old. If you're paying attention, you can see that now. But we had a very active 3-year-old, and we were having a family gathering as West Virginia played in the background. And life happens fast, and we're very grateful to be here. But probably on December 28th, I didn't envision that.
When you go out on the recruiting trail, Coach, you've got a chance to see the players you have. You've got a chance to see the players they've already signed. Where do you see your needs at this point when you're out there on the recruiting trail?
Yeah, in full disclosure, what my initial days on this job have been about building relationships with players. I've not watched one clip of film yet. And the reason being is this, like when you take a new job, there's so many things to do. And I think the mistake that a lot of people make is they go into immediately hiring staff, immediately doing things. Well, to me, you got to evaluate the players here as far as how do they fit with you, what you want to do. All right, and what I mean by that is from a relationship standpoint, who are they, what they're about? Because these guys are 17 to 22 years old, but they're kids in a lot of ways, and their whole world just got rocked. You know, talking about December 28th, they're playing the game. Could they envision in less than 2 weeks that coaches changes and all those type of things? So I think it was important for me to sit down and then to understand who I was as a person and me to get to know them. Also, the support staff, the people that spend the most time with them on daily. It could be academics, bringing her staff, Mike and his staff, and strength and conditioning, getting a feel for who those people are. We're going to get to the football piece, probably be closer to the weekend. I know what scholarships we have available. I know the guys that left, and on paper what it looks like, where we need to fill some holes. But we're going to evaluate our personnel, especially now that we have a few coaches on board. We'll evaluate our personnel and really make some key personnel decisions moving forward for the remaining spots in the recruiting process.
In those meetings with the players, do anything stand out what they told you? Anything that you learned?
Well, a lot of those conversations are obviously private. You know, here's what I did in these meetings. I want to know what their background is. In a normal process, and there's nothing normal about this. You know, the guys that are on this football team, or the guys that signed back in December, I would have a home visit with them. They would have multiple opportunities to come here on unofficial visit. They would take an official visit. So that relationship would be really strong. So really what I wanted to know, tell me about your family. Who are you? Where are you from? Tell me about your hometown. And then I ask simple questions. What are the best things we're doing here? What are we doing well? What do you need to sustain? What are some improvement areas that you need to see? Those were how those conversations went.
I know you mentioned recruiting regionally. How about any other areas you're familiar with, or places you plan to recruit?
Well, we will. We'll recruit regionally. All the states that touch our home state. And then obviously we'll have a really strong presence in the Southeast. Alabama, Georgia, into the state of Florida.
Obviously, when a coach takes a new position,
Yeah.
players from his previous team,
Sure.
they transfer. Are you looking at any of those players coming from Troy here?
Listen, I have great appreciation. I think most of that video that I had no intention of going viral that I did on Saturday when my voice cracked a little bit. Try to avoid that today. But obviously, love those guys. I think that's the right word to use. Love those guys. Really emotional, probably meeting with them yesterday. Appreciate Shane and giving me the opportunity to go back and do that and do it the right way. They started school yesterday at Troy. But tremendous appreciation for those kids, our Chancellor, Dr. Jack Hawkins, and the Athletic Director, Jeremy McClain. So those aren't conversations that I'll have with those players.
Neal, did you have prior knowledge of West Virginia? Any contacts? What was your first input into West Virginia football? Did you watch them growing up?
Yeah, watching it growing up, obviously being from neighboring state, and being a fan of college football throughout. I actually spent a couple days here in the spring of, I think it's spring of 2011. I came and watched practice, spent a couple days. So I'd been here, I'd seen the facilities, those type of things. Not the recent renovations, but had seen the facilities. So I had a decent understanding, yes, sir.
Neal, some of the philosophies you have, the keeping the family around the office and intentionally having fun, like the book club that Bruce Hubbell wrote about. Was there a point in your playing career or coaching career where you either said it was a positive experience, say, man, this is great when I became a coach, I want to do this, or was there a negative experience where, like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in a different way? What was it? Was there any one thing or one event that kind of spurred you to kind of go that direction as a coach?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, talk about my parents being educators. Grew up in school. You know what I mean? Grew up from the time I remember elementary school librarian, cleaning up books and all that, and being in school waiting for my dad to shut down the gym or whatever it was as a principal. So being just around educators, seeing the influence they have on young people. But I just think it's important that people pave their own way. You get bits and pieces from everyone you've been around. And I think we're all probably, whatever profession we're in, we're probably a collective, a lot of people that touched us along the way to get here. But for me, it's about the development process. And it's not just about players, it's about staff as well. The other thing, too, is I just don't want to be miserable. Honestly, I look at so many people in this profession, and I get it. Pressure's high. You know, the pressure's high. The money's a lot. I mean, but at the end of the day, we're coaching football. You know, and come on. You know, it's football. I'm around young people all day, every day. In a lot of ways, you don't have to really grow up. So I just approach it in that way. Let's have fun. There's work time, there's play time. You can accomplish both. I think if you look at what Clemson's done, they've proved that to be important. I don't know if there's anybody having any more fun than Dabo Swinney right now. I mean, he's having a lot of fun. And you know, I had an opportunity to go spend 3 or 4 days in the spring and just came away really impressed and really felt like, man, this is, you know, one of the top programs in college football, and if they're doing it this way, I really feel sound in our approach as well.
Well, I saw the dance video, so apparently, like, they.
All right, hold on. We're going to talk about that. All right, let's make sure. Hold on. I'm going to get back to you on that question. So, let's make sure, and this is one thing that Brooke said I had to hit today. All right, so let's talk about this dance video. All right, and Vic's shaking his head. So, dance video. So this is how this came about. All right, so at Troy, we have the end of spring semester, you have your awards. And so one of the things they do is they do a competition between coaching staffs. Well, Becky Whetstone, who at Troy is in charge of academics and those type of things. So she sends out multiple, and when I say multiple, like 10 plus emails about doing this video, this dance video. And so our women's basketball program at Troy is led by Shanda Rigby. Funny, she's really good in front of the camera. She likes to have fun. They've been successful. So I'm talking about after several emails, I walked in the staff meeting, all right, and we had an academic meeting, and Becky said, well, y'all aren't going to do this. So I was like, you know what, we are actually going to do this. So one of our coaches who had a little bit of a music background, he put this together. Now, that video, we won the award, okay? So so obviously we won the award. So that video was supposed to be shown one time at the award ceremony, and never to come out of the vault again. Well, the next day, that thing has gone viral. It may be the most watched, even more so than our win over LSU. It may be the most watched video in Troy athletic history. So that's funny. So go and ask your question. What are we going I want to make sure that's clear. That wasn't a serious video. Okay?
Well, that's the thing. Well, hey, much respect on both your whip and your name.
My 10-year-old said I was way off. Adeline said I was way off. She said I was way off.
I think it shows a couple of things. One, like, you do like to have fun, and two, you're not taking yourself too seriously. How important do you feel those traits are when you're dealing with younger, and you're a younger guy yourself? How important do you feel those traits are in dealing with the student athletes to be a little loose and not take yourself so seriously when there is a lot of pressure?
Well, I think vulnerability is probably something that males in general struggle with, especially males in leadership. So I think it's important when you're dealing with young people that they understand that you're going to make mistakes. I always say this, as we get later in game weeks, all right, especially a lot of times before we leave the hotel and go to the stadium, I say, listen, guys, I want you to play loose. I want you to play free. There probably won't be anybody that makes any more mistakes today than me. I don't tell them I'll have to make more decisions than the rest of them, but it's but probably nobody will make more decisions. And it's not necessarily when you make the mistake, it's how you respond. But it's important. I think it's important for our staff. It's important for our players, all our support people, is to be vulnerable and put yourself out there and don't be scared to put yourself in a relationship. Don't be scared. Put yourself out there and give it all you got.
Do you feel your youth helps in that regard? I mean, just growing up in a different generation than a lot of the coaches in college.
Yeah. Well, youth is a general term. There's some days I feel really good. Haven't got much sleep over the last 3 days, so I don't know how youthful I feel right now. I don't really. My whole world right now is at home is around a 10, a 7, and a 3-year-old, and I come to work and it's around, anywhere from 17 to 22 or 23 max. So, regardless of age, I think you're always going to feel youthful, and I think being one of the younger head coaches, and especially at this level, I think it's a benefit. I think I have a good understanding. There's days I feel like I can still play. There's days, the older I get, the fewer those days are. But I think it's definitely beneficial to answer your question.
Neal, Troy's offense. So with your being sort of whatever it takes, as you said, is this going to be a huge transition for the players to learn a new offense, or minor?
And like I said, I've watched a little bit of more TV after our games at Troy and things, knowing Dana's background and knowing Spav's background as well. I think there's going to be a lot of similarities, some carryover. I don't think they'll be identical in any ways. We've added some option elements to what we're doing in the run game just to make us harder to defend. But I do think, especially from some pass concepts, there'll be some crossover.
Neal, have you had any talks with Coach Holgerson or Coach Spavital over the past few years about how they run their offense?
No, I mean, just in general, knowing them. I wouldn't say we're close, but just knowing. I have appreciation for what they've done offensively. Obviously, very good here last year.
How does being named as the head coach at West Virginia compare to being named as the head coach of Troy in terms of fan base reaction and school reaction?
Yeah, both really positive. The different is at Troy, a lot of relationships there. Being an assistant coach for 4 years, 2 years as offensive coordinator, we're part of 4 conference championships in a row. So, really felt good about what that reception would be there, just because we knew a lot of the people. Here, new place. Haven't been here before. Didn't really know what to expect. So, the overwhelmingly positive reception has been great. I think anytime I think when you're young, especially when you're my daughter's age, change is a little uneasy. And I think the reception you had at the airport last night was really beneficial for them. And I appreciate the people in this. I appreciate Shane, Kelly, and this department really welcoming us with open arms. I appreciate the people of West Virginia being overly positive about this hire.
Have you and Vic discussed what changes or the direction you'd like to see the defense go?
Yeah, he'll be available. I don't think today, but he'll be available and he can talk to it. We haven't talked a lot about personnel. He came in last night, so that'll be some things moving forward. But we will look different.
Have you learned to dislike Pitt yet?
They don't let you sign the contract till you dislike Pitt.
In that vein, what do you know about Western Pennsylvania? You said you're going to be recruiting for the border states. What do you know about Western Pennsylvania football, and specifically, we think the backyard brawl to continue beyond 2025?
I think rivalries are important in college football. I think that's what makes it unique, is those rivalries and those fan bases, the interaction those fan bases have. So obviously those are conversations that Shane and I have. As far as Western Pennsylvania, opportunity working in the Northeast when I was young in my career and actually recruiting that area personally, and especially when we were at Delaware, that was one of the key recruiting areas for us. So tough, hard-nosed kids, a lot of really well-coached kids. The high school football coaching in that area is very good, as good as there is anywhere. So that'll definitely be part of our recruiting landscape. Anybody else?
On that note, we will close off the media portion of it. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Brown, Shane, and President D will be available for more questions a little bit later on. Please welcome West Virginia head football coach Neal Brown.